how much have you done this week over the last 7 days?
3,000 commission.
Just kind of introduce yourself and just run me through basically what you were doing beforehand. 'Cause I know you did a bit of UGC beforehand as well, weren't you? But yeah.
Okay, so I owned a beauty salon, and it was shut down in COVID. So when COVID hit, my beauty salon went to everyone who owned beauty salons,
Yeah.
and I did get involved in TikTok doing tutorials, makeup, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
From there, I started to get approached to do really low paying UGC ads, and they would pay me like 29 quid for a video.
Yeah.
And from there, I then went on to, over the space of the last 3 years, to be one of the biggest female UGC creators in the United Kingdom.
Then you had that big transition from like, because I feel like a lot of creators have done UGC beforehand, and then they realise, okay, this is a big transition from your basic like Facebook ad that you're doing beforehand to now switching to TikTok Shop doing it organically. It's like a massive switch in content style.
It's not even the switch from the content style. It's the switch in your brain. So where you know that you've got yourself to a point that your ads are really good for UGC, they're no good for TikTok. So having to relearn it all through you, I thought my ads were really good.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not until I've relearned it with you that I can now see that UGC is a completely different style to TikTok.
Yeah, of course. And then like, so before you joined the Inner Circle, you were already doing TikTok. What was your best month beforehand, and what kind of just give me a bit of background on what you were doing beforehand?
So I joined in March, middle of March, and I did see quite rapid growth month on month until August. I did get one viral video that is still paying me till today, and that viral video did ridiculous amounts of money. That video, then I think my highest month was August at £4,000 commission.
Yeah.
And then from there, it literally tanked. I was unable to then recatch. I couldn't get a video, and I was in this awful place of having hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of samples turning up every single day, and I got into this addiction of having samples, and I thought that the more samples I could get, the more likely I would have a viral video, when in turn I've now learned everything from you that's zero samples.
And I think that's the case for a lot of affiliates, is that this is the issue I see so many times over and over again, is that they get one viral video, they think, okay, I'll be completely fine, I can stay afloat now. It's just not the case. You need to consistently learn the kind of framework for TikTok, because like I said, your content was high quality, it was good when you come to me, but it's just the changing of normal high quality content to what works on TikTok Shop Affiliate. Do you know what I mean? There's a massive change in between those both. And I think that's something that people got to get used to, is that there's going to be fluctuations, but as long as you can get predictable with your kind of style of content, then you know you can make more predictable income over a longer period of time. So kind of what I want to go on to now is, obviously your best month would be in 4K, and then when it tanked, what kind of months were you doing then? £500, £600 a month, or?
No, I stuck at about 1,000.
Stuck at about £1,000 a month. Okay, and then being stuck at 1,000, I'm pretty certain you've done, how much have you done this week over the last 7 days?
3,000 commission.
3K in commission. It's crazy. We're aiming for what, 12, 15K in December at least? 100%.
Yeah, I will get that. Yeah.
100%. Then that's the confidence you need, and I feel like a lot of affiliates need that. They need that self-belief in themselves. Tell themselves, no matter what, I don't care what it takes, I'm getting this number. Do you know what I mean?
I'm so confident in the framework that you've supplied me with, that the things that you have put into place for me, and other affiliates, I'm now certain, and I now know why it works, how it works, and how I can repeat it and repeat and repeat.
And what would you say was your first kind of impression, like joining the Inner Circle? So when you first got in, what did you kind of think of it? Because I know there's a lot of programs out there where you just get chucked into a course, you watch it, and then you're like, okay, you're left to your own devices. I like to kind of keep it a kind of close knit, but more of like a decent little community we've got, really.
This is really different. So there's a couple of different creator kind of communities, and I have dipped my toes into 2 others, and they're the big ones. And it's not that I didn't get on or I didn't like them. It just wasn't for me. They are just vast and huge kind of communities where there is very, very little communication with the creator that I wanted that tight knit with. Yours is the only place that I know I can write something, and pretty much either within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I will get a response from you. If I use the Discord, I'm going to get a response from Charlie. And I know that by the end of the day, whatever it was I had going on, we would have chatted about, we would have spoke about, we would have got to the bottom of it, and I would be nailing it again.
Yeah, of course. And then what would you say has probably been the best part about the community for you? Like maybe product selection, sorting out your visual hooks, whatever it may be. Has there been a specific thing where you thought, actually, that's really, really helped me?
I don't know actually. So I think I think it's just kind of been a mind blowing holistic thing. So whereas, like I said, I took that UGC style and it's been turned on its head.
Hmm.
You would never have got the three things that you need at the beginning of a video with UGC because it needed to be so different. And I think it's those three things with the elements of having you on hand all the time,
Hmm.
then putting in the product selection, so it's a bit of everything. And I think all of those things have basically created this whole, now that I know I can repeat rinse, and I know that I'm going to be successful long term on TikTok. But
Yeah, of
I
course.
also know that actually I wouldn't have wanted to do a short term course with you. I would have wanted the community, and that's vital for me.
And how do you feel compared, like now compared to when you first started? Because I know your content style, you obviously were doing all right beforehand, but you didn't really have the structure. But whereas now, when you pick up your phone, do you feel a lot more confident going into filming your videos?
Yeah, so that's two different things for me. So feeling confident going into my videos now, I'm like that. It's like I've learned how to drive and now I know how to do it. I think there's always going to be times like where you could pick up bad habits
Hmm.
that
Yeah,
you're going to need to come back to basics, and I think that's going to be something in the kids. I think that's the whole basis of the community, is to bring you back to the basics. And I
yeah,
think that all of us in the community are going to do that, and you're going to have to go, right, you need to take yourself back.
hmm,
You know what you've got to do here, here, here. This is the
yeah,
framework.
yeah,
Get yourself back there, Rach. You've picked up some bad habits.
hmm,
Go back to square
yeah,
one.
yeah,
But then the other thing is, what was happening before I joined the community was I was hating myself. I was hating TikTok. I was hating my job. I was seriously thinking of quitting. Like
hmm,
I was at quitting stage every single day, and I am no quitter.
yeah,
Like, trust me. And I was definitely. And that viral video that held me for months and months
hmm,
made me have this belief that I would get it again, and I wasn't
yeah,
getting it, and I was never gonna get it again. I now know that with the framework, with what you've taught, I can reduce that volume. And aside from this quarter, actually, I now know that I don't need to be burning out.
hmm,
I've got a framework that means I can produce better quality content without having to pump ridiculous amounts out. And I'm not going to get the burnout that I did.
And then, I mean, the last kind of thing I want to go over is literally just like, if anyone's on the fence right now about joining the inner circle, about joining Creators Collective, what would you say to them? From you back at the start when you thought, actually, is it, do you know what I mean? Is it the right one? Because I know a lot of people think this. They're on the fence. They're thinking, I don't know if it's right. There's a lot of courses out there. What would you say to someone like that?
Okay, so I would say that say for the week after I joined,
Hmm.
I was still debating whether I'd done the right thing.
Hmm.
I was still thinking, shit.
Hmm.
I thought my content was good.
Hmm.
And I was like, in my brain, I was thinking, what have you done? What have you done? You know your content's good, Rach. You were getting paid loads of money for
Hmm.
doing this content. Of course it's good.
Hmm.
And then it clicked.
Yeah.
And then you were there and you didn't take a step back. You have not done what the other communities have done. What some other communities have done is tell you all this spiel, but then you get in it and you're like, well, hang on a minute, where are you? You're
Yeah.
nowhere to be seen. You are nowhere to be seen. Roman, you are there. Charlie is there. And actually, us that have been in there a little while now,
Yeah.
we can give a bit of feedback. I feel confident enough now to be able to help others that are newer to
Hmm.
come in and think, actually, Roman's going to be like, yep, I think she got that right there. I think she was pretty much on the point there. And if you're on the for anyone that's on the fence, I just think the only way that you can physically fail in this community is for three reasons. Number one, you do not do
Hmm.
what you say.
Hmm.
Number two, you're lazy. You don't want to do it. Or number three, you think you're better than it. That's it. That's the only three reasons you will fail. If you give into it and you allow it and you believe in it, you will win.